Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special cast for you. This is Team Dawnbot. We are casting a ZvP between Boyo in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Protoss. The top right-hand we have vVvGlon. With me is my casting partner, Brobot. I am Don Juancho. Now, do you know about this matchup at all? Are you familiar? We are on GSL Daybreak.
I know it's from a tournament.
Yes, it is. I believe this is from the SemiPro Gaming League tournament. I believe this is the first round of, it's probably best of 5.
Okay.
Yep. And this is the GSL map, so it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have this little supply depot right here, making sure there's no cheese. The middle is going to be a little bit less minerals, only 1 gas. It's going to change your strategy a little bit, but only if you're a top level player like these are, and I believe they are both in Grandmasters.
Yeah, and I think these guys practice on these maps anyways, so they'll be used to all those little small differences.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And you know, probably players like us, or you know, people not quite as good as us, are they wouldn't even notice the difference. But at such a high level of play, it really does matter which expansion you take, if it has only 6 mineral nodes versus 8 and extra gases.
Yeah, not to mention the lowered supply depots that prevent the pylon block that I'm a fan of. Like the hatch first.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty dirty.
If Zerg gets away with a hatch first, man, it's like just that much harder to stop their eco from getting booming out of control.
Yeah, I've never really... I'm just so afraid of them blocking and doing something silly like that I never go hatch first, but definitely like to threaten that and put the drone out there to make them think that I might be going hatch first before they scout. So it looks like we have a pretty standard opening by both players. We have the spawning pool going down, followed by the hatchery, and for the Protoss player we have Forge followed to a Nexus. And do you think that's a big deal? He goes gateway before cannon. I guess it's so big that he's gonna know if any Zerglings are coming.
Yeah, he just he knows he can get away with it.
Yeah.
So
he does throw down that cannon. So right now, they're just doing that dance that Protoss and Zerg like to do. I'm sure Zerg is gonna be taking his 3rd base anytime soon. Just gonna chase out that probe, get his overlords spread out. This is a little surprising though. He has 2 overlords that are pretty much right by Boyo's natural and going into his base right now. But I guess if you don't have anything that can shoot air, you might as well just completely see what they're doing, right?
yeah, he's got a while till he knows his stalker can get out, so they can just float around lazily until they gotta hurry up and get out of the way.
Yeah, luckily there's enough dead air in this area that they can just float away, just like Overlords like to do. So everything's pretty standard. Let me know if you see anything that's going on that's crazy, because you know you are the Protoss expert.
Yeah, no, +1 weapons just started. That's the only thing worth mentioning. Besides that, the Cyber Core is like just finishing, so we'll see what kind of tech he's going for in a little bit here, maybe.
Yeah.
Still on 2 gases, hasn't taken the 2 with the expansion yet.
And he did just scout the 3rd of Zerg, so he knows that there's not going to be any 2-base cheese, 2-base all-ins. And Zerg, big scout, scouts that Forge, sees that the +1 is going. So he's going to know. So what does that mean? If you're getting +1, does that generally mean that you're going to be getting an early attack going on? I mean, that's like, what are the implications of that?
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. Although it's possibly just wants to get a head start on all of his weapons upgrades. So I wouldn't say like 100% for sure that I know what that means.
Okay.
Like, it could be a timing. It could just be getting a head start on upgrades.
Yeah, and he's not really chrono boosting it, not that I've seen. So, yeah, just still going going with somewhat standard play. I'm sure this is going to trigger. You did trigger the little bit earlier of gas to make sure. We have a Roach Warren going down a little bit early for if you're going to go for some sort of macro play. The 7-minute mark is generally for more of the 200 max push, which Stefano has made famous. But we'll see. We don't have an Evo chamber up yet that I see of. So right now we have the layer going down and metabolic boost for the Zerglings. Going to get some speed and a lot more map control. Right now I really...
Yeah, Boyo's just added on his 5th gateway, so he's continuing to get the upgrades going. He's now working on +1 armor, but no like higher tech beyond gateway yet. And he is getting a lot of sentries, which if you have a strategy based on sentries, definitely want to get them early so that they can build up that energy.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And we have, what is it, 7 gateways right now. For some reason,
yeah.
like,
so,
I know nothing about Protoss, but it always seems like there's an even number of gateways. For whatever reason, you want to be like a 4 gate or a 6 gate or an 8 gate. You never do a 7 gate. That's just me. I have no idea.
I don't think it matters at all. So
oh, wait, there are 8 gates. There are 8 gateways, so, you know, it's a little interesting. Typically, wouldn't you have 8 gateways if you're going to do a quick push and not expand?
Yeah, but I guess in this case, he just wants to have enough reinforcement. He's getting so many sentries. This is a lot of sentries.
Okay. So is this like a? Is this kind of like a defensive 8 gate, or is this just in planning for the? Oh, we have a lot of Zerglings coming in here, but I think force fields. Oh wow! Are these force fields going to be able to save him? He doesn't lose any sentries. It doesn't look like. This is.
Yeah.
Take a look at
that. I think the player's so confident in his ability to get good force fields that. That's the strategy. Get a ton of sentries and then rely on the force fields to win, or at least to get your 3rd up.
Yeah, wow, that's this high level of play. I guess you can just count on that.
Robotics facility is going down now.
And so for Zerg, we have double upgrades. We have the Carapace as well as the missile attack. So I'm feeling somewhat early Roach push coming on. I mean, especially considering he's getting all these Roaches, which, as we know, aren't necessarily as good in the later game. And I think that as a Zerg, you'd probably want to get a lot more drones and a 5th base if you were really going for the macro. So I'm anticipating a push on this 3rd base, or just to try to break the Protoss straight up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Protoss is doing right now. It looks like he's gearing up to put some pressure on this 4th. I think this is going to come down to the force fields, though. It looks like there's a bit of engagement and great force fields. He's separated like just about as many as he should.
Looks like
and quite free kill.
You're not quite able to sneak out there. Yeah, picked off a good amount of Roaches. Yeah, we have 44 units killed to 6 for the Zerg. So Zerg is definitely going to have to cancel this 3rd. It is, it's not looking too good right now for a Zerg player.
Dude, the hallucinated immortals though, this is awesome. I don't think I've ever quite seen this before, but
oh wow,
that's gotta be.
Oh wow,
the Zerg player.
That's pretty smart, yeah. Because obviously you're gonna want to focus fire them, but if he sees that the first one was hallucinated, he might realize, hey, that's not actually doing anything. Wow, there's a big attack right here. Coming on. That's just amazing. As a Protoss, having that 3rd expansion up and being able to put pressure on to the Zerg. Pretty even supply for, well, considering that it's Zerg, only being up by a little bit, and army supplies are pretty even. All those sentries, though.
Man, another really good set of force fields.
Yeah, definitely, but those spine crawlers are just whacking away here. Just taking out that sentry army, but I think that Protoss might have lost too many sentries. He's just picking off one after another. That's really just showing the skill in the micros. being able to target down those sentries, which is a key part of the army. And wow, all of a sudden the tide is changing. I think those upgrades are just really going to help out Zerg. We have our pathogen glands coming for the infestors.
Yeah, no, the Protoss isn't out of this yet,
though.
He's
on 3 bases.
He's on 3 bases. If that was like a 2-base push, he probably would have been done. But he got his third up, and the third so far has been gone up uncontested. So definitely still in it.
And this is a really awkward position for Zerg because he lost his fourth. He's on, I mean, you wouldn't really say even footing because Protoss with 3 bases is ahead of a Zerg on 3 bases. But he has so many roaches right now that he's really going to want to transition into getting those infestors. Probably just going to get a whole bunch of spine crawlers and tech to broodlords. But I think that he's just going to look for some really good counter-attacking opportunities right now to use those roaches to their most effectiveness.
Yeah, that'd probably help him out the most. Meanwhile, the Protoss is sticking with this Gateway plus Immortal with a lot of sentries unit composition, which is like super popular nowadays. So
yeah, and is there any? Do we have a Colossus Den going down yet? He's just gonna stick with this Gateway. Yep, looks like a Gateway army supplemented with Immortals. We have a big attack going on here. He wants to take out that fourth, and once again, we have Infestors in the mix though. They're gonna get some deadly fungals going off here. Throws down the beach balls.
Yeah.
And the force fields go down, but Zerg just doing what they do and swarming, hitting those fungals. Wow.
Kill.
GG. I don't know what to say right there. I really thought that this game was a lot closer than it was, but I guess Protoss just moved out at the wrong time.
Yeah, and those infestors were just ready at the right time too.
Yeah. Well, that was an impressive game. Thanks to Glon for sending it out. And yeah, awesome. This is Don Wancho.
Robot.